For more than a decade, the BGK family has been a champion of dreams. It's the dreams of those who work for a better tomorrow that drive us to reach our greatest potential. We are here to support our kingdom partners, their families, their ministries, and our communities.
As a young person living in America right now, life can seem pretty crazy, pretty confusing. And just like our political climate, where it seems like there's a lot of chaos and confusion, I think it's important as young people that we get out and vote. That we get out and vote for the country that we want to live in. Get out and vote for our futures. Get out and vote for the leaders that we want to lead us. It's so important that we don't do it just for ourselves, but we do it for those that have gone before us and those that are coming after us. So make sure, you guys, you get out and vote.
Welcome to the Team Taylor Show. We are one team with two shows. Thank you for tuning in today to our Awaken Love broadcast. I'm your co-host, Bishop Ronald Taylor Jr.
And I'm Pastor Chara Taylor.
And we want to first thank our BGK family for all they're doing with this network, and we praise God for them. And if you want to catch the shows, you can go to their actually broadcast on the YouTube, or you can download the app. It will be a blessing to you. Today we are going to talk about bedroom liberties. And of course, this is going to be part one. We talk about the joys of enhancing the bedroom playtime with added supplements.
So today we're actually going to help couples. Our goal is to help couples open up your minds and provide you with some liberties all about including supplements and enhancing their sex time for married couples. Of course, we're talking about for married couples. We want to awaken the minds and thoughts of couples who once were enjoying sex and now it's kind of gotten routine and boring. We want to show you some different options that you can safely include in your bedroom playtime that's not going to open you up to things in the demonic realm or take you into places where you necessarily don't want to go. And we also want to be able to show couples who have stopped being active different options for becoming active together once again. But before we do all that, it is very important that we talk about some of the restrictions that the Bible has given us.
Absolutely. Now, since we are Christians and we follow Jesus Christ, so that means there are some restrictions that the Bible does talk about that we must uphold according to the actual scriptures. Of course, number one, there is no sex, gender sex, meaning no man on man, no woman on woman when it comes to marriage. Number two, no incest relationships. And sometimes we feel like, well, I don't have to say that, but you don't know how the enemy is playing in people's minds and their heads. And so incestual relationships is totally against the scriptures today. Number three, there is bestiality. Now, we know that that's having sex with animals and just things like that. So even though we can't involve animals to the bedroom, but the Bible doesn't say we cannot act like animals when it comes to the bedroom. Then there are, of course, the adulterous acts. The bed is undefiled when the man and the woman come together in holy matrimony in that way. And so doing anything outside of that is really against the constitution of marriage that God has placed in this in his ministries, I like to say. And then, of course, there is fornication. Now, fornication doesn't apply to those that are married, but those who may be watching or trying to hold out or trying to put themselves in a position where they can learn how to when that mate does come. And so no fornication is prohibited outside the beds of relationships with God also. And also the number 6 is in-laws. You can't sleep with those that you marry your wife, you didn't marry the family. So you have to stay with your wife in that regards. Now, however, there are some limitless liberties when it comes to the bedroom. Number 1 is my favorite, is positions. If you like to swing and she like to fly, we say go for it. We say do it. So there's no limitations to positions. If you're flexible, flex on, my brother and my sister. Also, another favorite, which is close to position, is frequency. There is no time limit. There is no how many times you can do it in a day. If your body can take it and time will allow it, and you're putting everything in proper perspective in your life, it's spontaneous, whatever it is, you can enjoy yourself as much and as long as you can. Which leads to number 3, just making sex more exciting. Sometimes we have the same old positions, or whether it's missionary, or whether it's in a bedroom, or whether it's different places, or the same place, shall I say, that can bring a lot of aerial dynamics to that. And then number 4 is ways to enhance pleasure. So that's one of the topics here that we're really going to expound on, and all of that. So, honey, tell us some of the ways that we can just enhance in the bedroom.
So to really understand enhancing and supplements, maybe we should talk about what a supplement is. A supplement is actually something that completes or enhances something when it's added to it, or it's like an extra element. Mm-hmm. That's what a supplement is. We supplement things all the time in our lives. For our health, we take vitamins because we don't get all the proper nourishment from foods. When we are lacking money, we supplement our income by getting a second or third job. We supplement our education. We supplement that by doing externships and internships. We read books. We attend seminars. So we do supplement things on a regular basis. And so I don't understand why it's so strange to consider supplementing when it comes to sex. Okay. And the same thing about enhancements. Enhancements are actually things that intensify, increase, mm-hmm. or heighten or further improve the quality or the value of something. Like we enhance our food. We add condiments and seasonings and different things to make our food exciting and irresistible. We enhance our home with furnishings. We enhance our cars by putting different things in it. So we really have the concept of supplementing and enhancing. We just don't seem to take that into the bedroom. But since we are comfortable adding things regularly, then we certainly should. What I really like to say is my most favorite example is chicken. I always talk about chicken because that's something that a lot of people eat. And I talk about it because when God created the chicken, I don't think he created it to be deep fried. But we figured out a way to enhance it, to make it irresistible. And we should do the exact same thing when it comes to having sex and marriage. We should figure out ways to supplement or to enhance, to make that time with each other simply irresistible.
Absolutely. But, but here's the reality, talking to the married couples here, that it's a reality that what we face in marriage. The first thing that I believe that couples are experiencing is sometimes medical issues. There are medications that the husband or the wife may take that may weaken the libido, or it may cause you to be sleepy at night, or it may, for the female, it may cause you to be a little dry, or for the man, you can't really stand at attention like you want to. And so medication or medical issues, that could be a concern that can be a problem in the marriage. But thank God that we have help for those things, or those people that are experiencing those things. And then there's the age. And I want to say two things about age. Number one, we always say age is a number, which is true. But however, the Bible says, so a man thinketh, so that he is. And so sometimes we can say, well, I'm 60, I'm 70, I'm 80 years old, I can't do that. So you begin to say those things over and over in your relationship or in your mind, then you begin to believe it, and your body is going to follow suit. And so age can be an issue when you make it an issue. If you're still breathing, if you're still walking around, you still got a feeling in your body, take 1 second and then squeeze your finger right now. I'll wait. If you feel that, then you are a candidate to have some loving coming to you. And then there is the everyday stress. We know what's going on with this virus. We know people been furloughed or laid off, or money's not coming like it used to. So that can be stress factor that can inhibit just the ability to even go out and want to have sex. It can cause a lot of strife within the construct of the marriage. And then it's just finding some time with your spouse, finding some time to set aside. That can be an issue. There are many things that can come out. Even bringing back the desire. Even all the first four I just mentioned, bringing back the desire can be a Achilles heel to the sex room. It can really be an issue. Now, here's something that I believe a lot of people don't really understand, or it's not even really talked about that I've heard, whether it's in church or just a seminar. It's just not understanding your spouse's body. In other words, sometimes we bring previous experiences to our present situation, and sometimes it may not work out as it once did. And so we are used to, or maybe as a man, we're used to a certain noise or a certain experience that we have with other women, in those times, and now we're with our wife and they're not responding that way. And so that can sometimes be disheartening. It's like, what am I doing wrong? Or what are you not doing? Or it's just you cheating, or somebody else taking my time. We just influence ourselves with so many negative thoughts when those things happen. But I really want to give some facts here. Now, I'm talking to the men for about a minute or so here. Now, men, did you know that this is a stat that is factual? You can look this up. That 56.8% of women need clitoral stimulation along with the intercourse. Let me say that again. 56.8% of women need a clitoral stimulation along with intercourse. And so that doesn't mean that the sex is not good. That doesn't mean that you're not performing well. It just means she needs a little added supplement to help her reach a higher level of ecstasy. So that's all that means. And so if your wife may be in that 56.8 percentile, then maybe you need to look into the enhancements in that. And I'm telling you, it's a great situation when you find out your wife's body.
That's true. I think the same is true for men. Where what I mean is, in the case of women need to find out exactly what the man's body needs. Mm-hmm. And that is so true. I do know that stress is a huge factor with men. I hear a lot of ladies talk about how he's so stressed. And if she is not careful, then she will allow the enemy to take her mind to places that mm-hmm. he is with somebody else or things like that. And that's definitely not true. So communication when it comes to marriage is important, and it's extremely important when it comes to sex.
Absolutely.
But there are so many different safe things that we can add to the bedroom, like I said earlier, that won't take us into like demonic realms, and it won't open the door to sin. And so for women, there's so much out there for us. I know most women wear so many hats, just like a man, but because of all the hats that women wear, sometimes it's just hard to even get our mindset to the place where, okay, yes, I'm ready for this. I want to do this. We can't, it takes us a little bit longer to get our mindset ready, because we're dealing with the children. Now women are outside of the homes working, or some of them are in the homes and working, and then they've got school. Some women are still attending school, and just all these other factors that women have. What are we going to cook for dinner? What's going to happen here? What's going to happen there? And then in the back of the mind, the woman is thinking, I know what he's going to want tonight, and I just can't do it. My mindset, my body, I'm tired. But there's so many different things that can help us. And I think it's important for men to understand that women, we're not light switches. We don't flip on and off like that. We can't flip on and off. It takes us a moment to make that transition to, okay, I'm ready. Okay, I'm ready. So if men can be a little bit more patient with women, that would be a number one help when it comes to making sure that the supplements and the enhancements actually do work. But some things that women can use are, they have on the market some relaxation creams that you can apply to your bodies, that go on the outside of your body, that does not cause any internal harm to us. And so it puts us in the place where we are ready mentally. It relaxes our body. They're designed to coordinate with our scientific bodily makeup to help relax us and get us into a different place. There are amazing lubricants that we should not be afraid of. That word lubricants. Right. Lubricants are a blessing, okay? Because as women age, I hear a lot of women talk about how menopause and different things take an effect on the makeup of the body, and how our bodies stop lubricating on them originally the way they used to. And so there are things to help. They're not to be an embarrassment. And then they have some that have flavors and all kinds of stuff. So you can have fun with the different lubricants. And for those that are in the 56.8%, there are clitoral stimulators that you can add that are not harmful. And then there are toys to actually help couples who have medical issues, who actually cannot get to certain arousal places. And these things don't have to cause embarrassment or harm to the inside body or to our brain when we think, oh, I need to go talk to my doctor. Well, I would encourage not to do these things by yourselves. Make sure that when you're talking about enhancements and supplements, that it's a joint conversation that husband and wife have together. And whatever is agreed upon, make sure your spouse is knowing what you're wanting to do. And then there's some approval. You're like, hey, you want to try this out? Hey, let's get in agreement with this, because where there is agreement, where there's unity, there is power.
Absolutely. I want to kind of piggyback on that just for a second here. It's just that, men, we have some of the same issues that, we're tired, we're working, we got a bunch of things, bills and kids, and making sure everything's protected, provided for, all those different things. But just having a long conversation, with your spouse, communication is great. And it can be very, very helpful. If we really love our wife and the wife really love the husband, then you begin to just open up so many communicative ways that you can just enhance each other, and not just feel ashamed or feel embarrassed or think someone is cheating or someone is hiding secrets or whatever it is. It could just be the list that we've been giving you for the last few minutes here that can add to the stress of marriage, and sometimes when the man is stressed out, we have to realize, the women have to realize as well, that for our sexual organ, what makes it hard, what makes it strong and salute you is that it needs blood. And sometimes if we're stressed out, our blood thins out, and we can't really reach that point of contact that we need, in order to pleasure our spouse. No, but there are some supplements for men. Now, one thing I do want to put a disclaimer here is that no alcohol and no drugs. Even though we say, let me give me some Patron, let me give me some Hennessy, and all those different things when we were in the world, and all of that stuff may be good at that particular time because your metabolism could take it. But as you get older, as time goes, your body's going to be affected by alcohol. It's going to be affected by those kind of drugs that you take, to try to make yourself more worthy in the bedroom. So be careful with drugs and alcohol. But I want to talk about a couple of things that can enhance for the man. They have rings for the shaft of a man. Just once it's there, you can apply it, and it keeps it in place. It keeps the blood there. It keeps it so you can salute her the way she needs to be saluted. And then, as my wife, she spoke about enhancement creams. Enhancement creams are for men and for women that you can use to enhance the intensity within you, and also you can use for to desensitize yourself. There's a desensitizing spray that you can use. Those are for men who kind of get a little excited too soon, if you know what I mean. But there are some things you can do, and then there are what I like to have. It's called mood creams. And these mood creams, it gets into your skin. It just puts you in the mood, and it's for the man, it's for the woman. It's just so many great things that you can use. So, but all of these supplements I just mentioned to you, they all are safe and they are effective and they are enjoyable. And so just keep that in mind as you thinking about it in those things, because after all, you're laying next to the person that's going to spend the rest of your life with. So why not have some fun and just see her react and move and all those different things when you guys are both just enhanced. So, but I want to talk about some of the ways to be creative. Can you give some things on that, please?
Absolutely. This is fun for me. Being creative, the very first thing I would say is be intentional about being creative. It's not something that you just fly by the whim. And I think, as you know, when we were younger out in the streets and doing things we weren't supposed to do, we were pretty much doing things on the whim then. But, we need to think and be more conscious that we are adults and we have life. So some things you're going to have to be intentional about. And sometimes you're going to need some scheduled lovemaking is not a bad thing. It can be complete, especially for those who are planners and those who operate by their calendars, like, oh, it's on a calendar, let me get my mindset. And so we need to be intentional about being creative.
Absolutely.
But one of my favorite things that I love to talk about when it comes to being creative is make sure that when you are buying a home or when you are getting a home, that you have, as a married couple, a room that is dedicated and designed for nothing but bedroom playtime. Okay. And that sounds weird, but men have their men caves, women have her she shed, where people have their prayer room, we have guest room, but nobody is intentional. Well, now I won't say nobody because we are. You got to be intentional about having a room that is designed for bedroom playtime. And go with me for a moment with this thought. When you walk into the kitchen, you're normally thinking about eating and food. When you go into the restroom, you're thinking about
relieving yourself,
going to use the restroom.
Right.
And when we go into the bedroom, 9 times out of 10, you're thinking about going to bed, because since we were infants and since we were children, we were told to get in that bed and do what? Go to sleep. Yeah. Nobody was told to get in that bed and have fun. Right. So having a room that is designed for bedroom playtime will help you to get to the place where you are really just totally free. And once you walk in there, once you go in, you know what to expect. And then you're not having what I call lazy sex, because if you're just going to keep doing it in the bed, then it's going to get lazy and you're not going to be performing at your maximum potential. And so we need to really have a place that is designed. And then the next thing we can do is to add some couples toys. And so I'm not talking about like dildos and things like that, but they have some different position cushions that can help you that can help with different positions and take you out of the same ones that you've been doing over and over and over again. And so those type toys is what I'm talking about when we're talking about including couple toys. Also changing up the location, yes, in the playroom, but also be creative and change up the location outside of the house. Find someplace else to go. And then it's okay to even plan some quickies. Hey, I got a few minutes for lunch. Why don't we meet up? Something like that. Or, just get creative about playing. I know back in the day, or I guess, back in the day, people used to do things where it'd be like, hey, I'm going to come over and see you. Well, we can't do that with one another now. We're in the house. But what you can do to be creative is say, you know what? You go to sleep in the room, I'm gonna sleep up here. I'm gonna just come back and meet you, and then you'll know what time it is and what to expect. It's the two of you. Be creative, have fun with it. And you can also add some very safe role play. Yeah. Very safe. It can be safe. It does not have to open you up to sin or anything like that. And then something that you want to do with get a regular camera. Don't do this one on your phone, but it's fun to record yourselves, watch it to critique yourselves, right. So you can be like, oh, I don't want to do that again. Oh, I look horrible doing that. Watch it together, learn from it, and then delete it. Don't do this on your phone because you don't want it to attach to the cloud and all those different things. But get a regular camera and kind of have some fun. Right. Be intentional about being creative.
Absolutely. That's a very good point. The intentionality of sex is so much needed, especially in the body of Christ, in the church. It seems like that's like a hidden secret. Everybody knows that you having sex because you got kids, right? Or something's happened, or she got attitude, or he got attitude. His arms was folded. So either you're not having sex or you're having sex. It's still illuminated wherever you go. So whether you're in church or not, it's happening. But I did want to. I didn't add. I forgot to add an important disclaimer when I was talking about drugs and alcohol. Mm-hmm. So forgive me for that. Okay. And that's also, this is for the men and women as well. But I'm talking to the men, and that is what has been destroying marriages over years, and that is pornography. Mm-hmm. I can do a whole segment on pornography, but for right now, that's not a good way, because it really puts you in a fantasy world that is not going to be satisfying, in the end, long term. One of the things that when I used to watch pornography, all those different things, one thing that what helped me, of course, the grace of God, but what helped me was I went and got the bloopers. I watched some porn bloopers. And I was watching how those women were having attitude. They was mad. They was cursing at each other. So that clicked in my mind. It was like they just acting. She's not, enjoying that. She's not doing those things. And so I actually took it there, and it was able to help me in those areas. And so be careful when it comes to pornography. Now, for the men, and everything my lovely wife just said, I totally agree. But I'm going to take another avenue when it comes to the men, as far as how we can be creative. Now, number one, we guys got to just treat her nice.
Amen to that.
Just treat her nice. That's a new creative measurement that she'll be glad to.
Hallelujah.
And then also stop being so mean. Stop being snappy. Sometimes as men we smile in the whole entire world, then we come home and take that smile off, and then we give her the leftovers. So let's not do that. And also show her that she is number one. She is number one. She is uno numero. I don't even know how to say it, but she is number one. Okay? Just that way she have no doubts. And when there's no doubts, there's no other thoughts that can take her to other realms of herself. It can keep things in. And then also just be concerned about her feelings. Sometimes they may talk a little long, and they may talk a little often, but sometimes you just gotta just listen to it, and then find something within that so that can help us to help them, and then in return help us, at the same time. And then also just to simply just give us some quality time. That doesn't mean sex. That can mean some nonverbal things, and that means that you can hold her hand while you're driving or whatever it is. Just showing her some kind of nonverbal things that can help her, complimenting on her. And then the last thing for me, it's a lot of them, but for this particular show, the last one thing is for me is touch her on a regular. She's walking in the house, just touch her. Come up behind her and just, rub on her, and all those different things that you fell in love. So just go ahead and keep those things to your to the benefits. Okay. Now I want you to just talk about some of the the overall benefits. Just sum this up,
Well, benefits is that you will awaken love. Absolutely. And you guys will want to be together and have a lot more fun, and you will reconnect. Those are some of the main benefits of adding supplements and enhancements to your playtime.
Absolutely.
All right, so we are so excited that we have this opportunity to be with you. So we want to thank you for joining us today. We pray that was insightful and helpful to you, and that you will consider joining us again. We do want to let you know that if you would like to discuss this with us even more, or you would like to have a consultation, you can reach us at www.tingtaylorministries.com. We look forward to being with you again. We want to thank our host, BGK, and we're going to ask that you would download their app and subscribe to their YouTube channel so that you can be a part of the family and watch these shows on a regular basis. So we thank you for joining us, and we will see you next time.